Hey lovely people, welcome back once again to another episode of Stitches Beads Collection. I'm Miss Stitches. In this video, let me share with you how to make this unique star-shaped beaded bag. Before we start, do well to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. Let's get started. Materials needed. So you cut your fish line. You make sure it's long enough. So you cut it off, and we are using 0.7. So you make sure you have equal parts, or you're holding equal ends. Then you fix 6 beads. This time you can fix it on any side at all. Then you cross with the 6th one, or you cross with the right one. Then you cross. You can cross with any side at all. So we have our first ring. Then moving on, you pick 5 beads, fix 2 on each fish line. You fix 2 on the left and fix 2 on the right fish line. Then you cross with the last bead, which is the 5th bead. So as you can see, then you cross with the last bead to form the second ring for you, or for us. So we get our second ring. Then to the 3rd ring, you pick 5 beads again, fix 2 on the left and 2 on the right fish line. Then you cross with the last one. Then we have our 3rd ring. So we are adding 3 more to get 6 rings. So when you get to the 6th ring, you pick 5 beads and fix 3 on the left fish line, and then you fix 1 on the right fish line, and then you cross with the last one, adding up to 5. So when you get to the last one, you fix 3 on the left, then you fix 1 on the right, then you cross with the last fish line. So we have our 6th ring. There we go. So as you can see, the fish line has turned for us to weave to the other side. So you continue with the same method by fixing 2 beads on both fish line, then you cross with the last one. And then as you can see, the ring is forming on the other side. So you fix 2 beads on both fish line, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, then you cross with the last one, as we started with. Yeah, so as you can see, the ring is forming on the other end, moving to the other direction. So we have it now 6, and then on the 6th one you are turning again. So you fix 3 on the left, then you fix 1 on the right, then you cross with the last one, which is the 5th bead. So you always turn on the 6th bead. So there we have it. Then we are going to continue weaving again using the first method, fixing 2 on both fish line and then crossing with the 5th bead. So with this first step, always remember when you get to the 6th ring, you turn, as I'm doing now. So anytime we get to the 6th ring, you turn, and then you weave to the other side. So we want 5 sides, and we have 3 now, and this is the 4th one. So we are on the last one now. So with the 5th side, we need 4. Okay, so we are making 4 rings because we already have 1 and 2 here, so we need 4 to make it up to 6. So we are creating 4 rings, and then when we get to the 4th ring, we are joining it to the 5th ring here. Okay, so you just fix 2 beads on each fish line, then you cross with the other side, as you can see I'm doing. So be careful and watch the bead I'm going through carefully. I left 3 on the left fish line and then left 1 on the right fish line. So I went through the last but 1 bead on the right fish line. So we have our 5 sides complete now. Now we are going to pass the fish line through to the middle bead here. So please watch how I pass them through carefully so you won't make any mistake. So to this bead here, after I'm done, you see the bead I went through to this bead exactly. Now we have 5 sides now, and you need to get 5 sides because that is the shape we want. Now we are going to close the inner part. So with your right fish line, you go through the next bead, and with your left fish line, you go through the next bead on the left as well. So we have the fish line coming out of 3 beads, as you can see. Then since we have 3 beads already, you pick 2 beads and fix it on the left fish line and cross with the last one. So you cross with the second bead. So we are adding that side up to 5. This time not 6, 5. Then you go through the next 2 beads. So you go through the next 2 beads, and then you pick 3 beads. With that side, we're adding up to 6. So you pick 3 beads, then you cross with the third one using the right fish line. Then you go through the next 3 beads again, and then pick 3 beads. Then you cross with the third bead. Then you go through the next 2 beads. Then you still fix 3 beads again. Then you cross with the third one. So when you get to this side, you go through the next 3 beads. That is another joint. So with that side, we are adding up to 5 again. So you only fix 1 bead here because we already have 4. So you fix 1 bead to add it up to 5. Then you go through the next 2 beads and then fix 3 on the left fish line. Then you cross with the third one. So you go with the usual method now. The next 2 bead, fix 3, then you cross with the last bead. So you go through with the usual method 3 times. Then the 4th one becomes 5. So you go through the next 2 beads, fix 3 beads, then you cross with the last one, still adding up to 6. And then this time you go through the next 3 beads. Then that is where we are adding up to 5. So anytime you get to the joint, you add it up to 5. So please note, as you can see, at my joint I added up to 5. The ends I'm pointing out, you add it up to 5. Let me say where you turned when you were weaving the 6th or the 1st step. So this time we get there, this time you add it up to 5. So we are done. And then closing up, because we already have the 5, you go through the next 4 beads, and then you fix 2 beads to add it up to 6. And we are done with the 2nd step. Then you go through the next bead. So you go through the next 1 bead to start the 3rd part. Then you pick 2 beads, fix it on the left fish line, then you cross with the right fish line. So with the 3rd part, we are adding the joints up to 4. Then you go through the next 2 beads as usual. Then you fix 3 beads and then cross with the right fish line, the 3rd bead. Then you go through the next 2 beads again, fix 3 beads on the left, then you cross with the right fish line. Then the next joint, you go through the next 2 beads here, and then you only fix 1 bead, so you cross with 1 bead. adding up to 4. So this time we are adding up to 4 on the joints. Then you go through the next bead, fix 3 again, and then adding that side up to 6. So this time we are having only 6, and then 4 4 4 on the joints. Then you go through the next 2 beads, and then you fix 1 bead, adding up to 4. So please watch carefully and don't make any mistake. It's a little complicated, but we can do it. So at the joint, then we add it up to 4. Or let me say the curves. So when you get to the curves, you add it up to 4. And then another 4. So you go through the next 2 beads, then cross with 1 bead. So after this, we are done with the 3rd step. So moving to the 4th one, you go through the next bead. Then you still fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the right fish line, still adding up to 4. Then you go through the next 2 beads, fix 3 on the left fish line, then you go through the next 2 beads again, adding up to 4. So this time we only have 4 6 4 6 4 6 throughout to complete the 4th step. And then we are done with the 4th step. You go through the next bead, and then with the last step, which is the 5th step, we are only adding up to 4. So you fix 2 beads on the left, then you cross with the right, then you go through the next 2 beads, and then cross with 1, and still go through the next 2 beads, and then cross with 1 again, and then you go through the next 2 beads, cross with 1 until you are done. Then you go through the last bead with both fish line to make it fin, and then we are done. So with the last step, it's only 4 4 4 4 4. There's no 6 among it. So please watch it carefully and get it right. So this is how you should get it. Then you pass the fish line through, and we are done with part of the body, like half of the body. So we are now going to weave around it to get the star shape we want. So moving on with the main shape we want to create the star, we are going to fix a new fish line. So you get a new fish line, fix it through these 2 beads. So you go through the next 2 beads. Please watch carefully with the beads I went through. Then you fix 4 bead on the left fish line. Then you cross with the last one using the right fish line. So you cross with the 4th bead using the right fish line, and then you go through the next 2 beads. So with this part, we are only adding up to 6 6 6 6 6 throughout. So you pick 3 beads, fix it on the left, and cross with the right fish line because you already had 3 there. You go through the next 2 beads again, fix 3, cross with the last one, which is the 3rd one. Yes, because we already have 3, we are adding up to 6. So you go through the next 2 beads, still fix 3 beads, then you cross with the right fish line, go through the next 2 beads. This time you fix the beads on the right fish line because we are turning with it. So you fix it on the right fish line, then you cross with the left one rather. So this time we are crossing with the left one, that is if you are turning. So as you can see, we have it, and then you go through the next 1 bead, then you still add it up to 6. So by fixing 4 beads, there we have it. So with this method, if you are doing it right, you should get a triangle shape as you are weaving ahead. So join me and let's weave on. So you weave until the last end, you get one ring there. Now we pass the fish line through it to make that side firm. You want it to be very firm because it's a star shape, so it will be able to stand very well. So whether the fish line is long or not, please pass it through. If it's short, pass it through and add another one. So we have our first side formed and we're about to weave the second side. So you're still fixing a new fish line. You count 6, and then with the 6th bead you go through the next 2 beads, which is from the 6th and the 5th bead. So please be careful where you pass your fish line through. So the 5th and 6th bead, that is the beads you go through. Then you still fix 4 beads and weave with the same method as we did with the first one. So note, you weave until you get a triangle shape, and with that you should get one ring at the top. But to make it easier, we started from 6, and then the next step should be 5, then you move on to 4, then 3, 2, and the last one should be 1. So you should get one ring at the top. So we are done with the second one too as well. So you pass your fish line through to make it firm again. Then you weave the 3rd and 4th side, of which I'm doing it off camera. So we have it now. We have 4 sides. We're about to weave the last side to make it complete to get our star shape. So we count 6 beads. Please, with this part, make sure you don't get confused. So you count 6 beads, and then you go through the 6th and 5th bead. So not to get confused, make sure you count 5 on the side you want to start with, as I'm doing. Then the next one you count 6, so you know where you start from. Then you still fix 4 beads and go on with the same method. So when you weave and you get to the other end, make sure you turn at the 6th bead. So make sure you turn at the 6th bead, as I have done. So you make 5 rings. When you get to the 5th one, you turn with it. Then you go on and weave this part. And then you pass the fish line through as usual, and then we have our star shape nicely formed, equal sizes. Now I'm going to weave around it to complete one side of the bag. So you are weaving around the star shape, and then you fix a new fish line. This time we go through 1 bead, only 1 bead. So you can fix your fish line on the next bead or next 2 beads if you want the entrance bigger. Then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line again, and then you cross with the right fish line, adding up to 4, as you can see. Then you go through the next 1 bead, then fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the right fish line. Then you as well go through the next bead again, the next 1 bead, fix 2 beads on the left, then you cross with the right fish line. So I prefer fixing the beads on the left fish line. It's not compulsory, you can fix it on the right if you are comfortable with that. Then you go on through the next bead. So this is what we are going to do throughout for this round. So we are going to end on the other side. So when you get to the last end, you now fix the beads on the right fish line, then you cross with the left fish line. So we are turning because we want to turn, so we can weave one more time. So we have the first one done. We are going to weave one more time. So one more time. Then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line. Then you sew cross with the right fish line. You can fix it on the right fish line and cross with the left fish line. That is how you started with. Any one you are comfortable with, you can go with it. So with the same method, we are weaving to the other end. So we are done with the second one too. We are done weaving with the second one, and now we want to line the bag. Okay, so I'm using this old cloth. It's stretchy, and then we are going to line the bag. So you take the shape of it and then you cut it off. Please pardon me with my cutting. I didn't cut it accurately, but it's okay. So you can get a chalk or pen, crayon, and draw the shape out so you cut accurately. But when cutting, please make sure you have left enough space. So I'm done with my cutting, and I'm going to attach it to the bag now. So you just stitch it to the bag. You just stitch to the bag, that is all. So I'm done, and you can see it's beautifully lined in the bag. So nice. I was even shocked after I was done. So beautiful. So this is the other side of the bag. You need 2 sides, also lined and the same shape. So the way I lined this bag is for the first design. Note, for the first design. So I'm going to join both sides. Then you need a fish line, new fish line. You go through this bead, which is the first bead here, and then you fix 1 bead on the right fish line. Then you go through the next bead on the other side of the bag. So the first bead on the other side of the bag rather. Then you cross with 1 bead. So you make sure you have equal sides, or equal length, sorry. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead, and then with the left fish line, you go through the next bead as well. Then you cross with 1 bead. So this time you go through the next bead with each fish line, then you cross with 1 bead. So with the right bead you go through, then with the left bead you go through the next bead, and then you cross with 1 bead. So with this part we are only crossing with 1 bead. So this is what we are going to do till you are done joining both sides. So after you are done joining, and as you can see, it's so beautiful. You are not done yet, but so beautiful. You can pass the fish line through, or you use it for the cover. That is, if it's long enough for you, you can pass it through or use it for the cover. So I have passed it through because I want the bag to be firm. And then with the first design, this is the cover I'm going to make for it. So you pick a new fish line and go through this bead. So the last but 1 bead. Then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line. Then you cross with the right one. And then you go through the next bead. Fix 2 beads on the left. Then you cross with the right beads. Then with the third one, we are turning with it. So you go through the third bead. This time you fix the beads on the right fish line, then you cross with the left fish line rather, so we'll be able to turn and weave to the top. Then you fix 3 beads on the left fish line, then you cross with the right fish line. So as we did with the sides of the bag, that is the same method we are using for the cover. So we are weaving about 9 steps. That is depending on the space you left for the cover or for the entrance of the bag. So I have the length now, and I'm going to pass the fish line through to the middle bead here, to the middle bead. So note, this is the first design. This is for the first design. So you pass it through to the to the middle bead. So we have it on the middle bead now. We are going to fix this round small beads. It's 9. So you fix it on any side of the fish line. Then you go through all the beads with the other side of the fish line, as I'm doing. So I fix it on the left, and I'm going through with the right fish line. So you go through all the beads, all 9 beads. After, you go through the middle bead again. So with the right fish line, you go through the middle bead. Then with the left fish line, you go through the middle bead again to have it locked. Then you can pass the fish line through everything to make it firm. So we are done with the cover now, and we are going to fix this round big bead on the other side of the cover, so we'll be able to lock with it. So the round bead is going to hold the cover and stop it from opening by itself. So you lock it this way, and then you can fix your handle to the bag, and we are done with it. So I made this small holder here using the same small round beads. So you just fix your chain handle there, and you are good to go. So we are done with the first design, and this is how beautiful it looks. Moving on to the second design, you still need the same cover, but this time we are going to extend it because we want it to take the triangle shape on the top. So I'm going to extend it to the other end so we can get the triangle shape of it. So we have it now, and as you can see, it's extended, or it's long enough to take the triangle shape. Because of the second design, we need to line this part as well. So the small triangle left, you need to line that part, and we are done with it. And to make the cover complete, we are going to attach this zip, and you can use the long one, which is about 20 inches, or rather you can use the short ones, which is also 10 inches. So you can use any of them, but I like the long one. I'm going to use the long one. So you are going to attach it this way, that is if you are using the long one. And if the short one, you are going to attach it on both sides. So there we go, we are done attaching it. I did it offline, that is why. So you just stitch it to the bag or to the beads. So you open it all around, and so beautiful and simple. And then you go on and fix your handle on these rings here, which I made with small beads. So I'm using this chain for the handle, and you can use beads for it, that is your choice. So this is how it looks after you are done fixing the handle, and we are done with the complete bag. So you can make it in any color of your choice, and are good to go. Please give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more of my tutorials. Comment and share as well. Do well to follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. Thank you. See you in my next video. Have a nice day, and bye.